What's up? What's up, everybody? We're going to be getting going here in just a moment. It's going to be a little bit shorter than 4 minutes. I just wanted to say I hope you're all having an absolutely wonderful day. Let's get some music on. Let's get some vibes going. Hope you're all feeling well. Hope your charts are looking good. Let's go ahead and rock this. Let's get everybody that's here. If you are here, I want to know you're here. Say something in the chat. What coin? What 3 coins? Medium, higher market cap, medium market cap, and lower market cap. What 3 coins, if you could only hold 3 altcoins, what coins would you or are you looking at for your not only max gains, but a little bit of risk adjustment, right? We want to weigh it down with a little bit of stability with maybe something like Ethereum. I'm curious what coins you're looking at. Say anything but Ethereum. I want to see any other coins on there. What coins are you looking at for this 2024 bull run into 2025? How you feeling? How you doing? I want to see everybody in here roll calling. I want to see you dropping some emojis in the chat. I want to see everybody active. We're going to be getting going here in just a moment, everybody. Let's get it. All right. I think we're going to get this going sooner than expected because it's time to talk about what coins we need to stack, what coins we should keep our eye on so that we can take advantage of these max gains. So let's go ahead and move this timeline forward. And we're going to get this going right now. As you roll in, I want to see where you're tuned in from. I want to know what you're doing. Are you driving? Are you at your computer? Do you have are we up on the TV? Are we in your pocket, in your ear? Everybody, let's get active. Let's get some vibes going. It's Friday. We got to talk about these coins because we want to stack into these profits for 2024. So everybody, I want to see everybody drop something in the live chat. Hit the like button. Let's get it. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Good afternoon, good morning, good night. Wherever you're tuned in from, welcome to the BitLab Academy daily stream. My name is Kellam. Welcome to the show. We got Alexandra G dropping 5 gifted memberships here to the BitLab YouTube. Welcome to all the new members. Who we got? We got Michael Truox, Fade and Trapfi. I thought you already remember Fade and Trapfi. Brokoshi No Dinero, Sack Nasty 86, Kingston Crows. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're feeling good. Let's talk about this. We got to talk about what's going on in the market. So before we get going, every single one of you, drive some engagement. Hit that like button. Look down below the video. If it doesn't say subscribe, hit that subscribe button. Ding the bell. We got some things to talk about today. Hope you're all feeling good. I hope you're all grateful today. Even if things are hard, think about what you have. Think about the skills you have. Think about what you can learn. We can all build the path to the destination that we want to get to if we have our mind right. And we can utilize this tool, blockchain, crypto, to get there quicker on a capital basis, right? So let's talk about it. I'm just going to do a brief overview of Bitcoin, and then we're going to be going through a bunch of altcoin picks, showing you what I'm looking at to stack and diversify into making sure I can really capture a broad array of profits in different sectors and also protect myself. Because if I'm going, degen mode on altcoins, I also want to make sure that I'm not putting myself at unnecessary risk where I'm putting it all in one altcoin because a friend told me about it. It's going to 100x. No, I don't do that shit. And you shouldn't either. We need to look at the broad spectrum of what's out there in crypto so we can take advantage of it. So Bitcoin, look at this. We've got this move right here, and I have it on this chart, I believe. Yeah, this chart right here. We have a sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave that we've talked about before. And I really do believe we're in an ABC correction right now. But at the same time, there's a little bit of confusion on here because everybody that wants the price to go up, they ignore this ABC correction possibility. They say it's an inverted head and shoulders. It's about to go to the moon. But is it? Have we really fulfilled the things that we need to for everything on the market to just explode higher right now? We talked about it yesterday. ETF ended in a bit of a sell the news event. And if the biggest news in history only got us to here, and we've had this small correction, is it ready yet? Is the market ready yet to just push higher? I think there's some work we need to do. And the reason I say that is even though we have an inverted head and shoulders here that does have a target that's basically right to this level. Why do I say that? Because we've talked about this yesterday. Let's do it again just so you can see. Measured move there, boom. From the neckline up, look at this. It would only be testing this high if we even got there. I don't want to say ignore, but I'm going to look at this level more specifically, this $45,000 level. I am not ultimately in a bullish mood until the price action gets back above this level. So anything into this zone, even if we get a wick above this to this blue line, remember, we've been talking about this blue line for quite some time. Even if we break this 45,000, I'm watching potentially getting a potential reversal at this zone because I do think that this is going to be a liquidity sweep to the upside, tricking people, trapping them, and then moving to the downside. So that's all I'm going to say right now on Bitcoin because we got a lot of things we want to talk about. We want to talk about some things going on in the market. Now, where is it? Boom, boom, boom. Now, I want to talk about Chainlink first, and then we're going to go through this stuff. I did break this down. I did break this down on the Discover Crypto show, but I just want to bring it up here as well because not everybody watches both shows. And we see we've had this massive move right here. This move right here was, man, that was beautiful. That was 130% move on this breakout on a long 530-day consolidation here, this accumulation before breakout. And look at this bullishness building into this right here with these waves to the downside getting smaller each time until ultimately, boom, we broke through this. Now, where we're at right now, a lot of people want to call this a sort of channel that's kind of sideways like this, but I don't see it like that. I see that we have this rising level. See these levels right here where it's rejecting, rejecting, rejecting. We're kind of up in the same territory right now. Not only are we in this territory, we kind of came right to this target that I showed you all earlier. I believe it was earlier this week of, basically these lows to these highs kind of gave us, this was this line, these lows, and this line right here is these highs projected out, comes right in confluence with this rising level of resistance that technically, yes, we have broken through it. But when we zoom out on the chart, we have all these previous highs and previous high. We have a bounce here as well. If we drag this across, I mean, look at this. Boom, coming in like that. We have this area as well. So we've got a lot of price memory in the chart with where we're at right now on Chainlink. Does this mean I'm not bullish on Chainlink? Absolutely not. It does not mean that. It means that I think right now in this current move, we may be getting a little hot, a little too spicy right now. You need to put some milk, you gotta swallow some milk, let this kind of cool off a little bit. Even if this continues up, I'd be watching for potentially, watch, if this pushes up for, further higher into this $19, $20 range, I'd be watching for a pullback potentially to retest the zone, some sort of pullback. And I think we'll probably likely get it somewhere in the zone, likely test back down a little bit and then continue to the upside. So as bullish as I am on Chainlink, I think right now we got some pretty substantial moves here. So maybe we need to let the engine cool off before we just jump into a green candle. That's all I'm saying there. Now, remember, when we're talking about everything we want to do in this market, let me say this right here. When we're talking about making money in this market, it's all about identifying what risk you can take, where you can get the most asymmetric reward to risk gains as possible. So many people see how many other people in this market have made millions, sometimes hundreds of millions, or even if it's not millions, maybe it's a 10,000% on very small amount of money. But we can't argue about what is a lot of money to different people in different parts of the world. Huge gains are huge gains, but people see other people having had huge gains and they want to catch up to it. And so they throw their life savings or any amount of money that they have that they're able to put in this market into that one coin somebody told them is going to 100x, only to get left in the dust with nothing. There are ways to attack this market and set your portfolio and your positions up so you can have exposure to high risk while also limiting how much risk you're taking to where you're not just putting yourself in a position that you're just donating your money to the game. And that's what we're about to talk about right now. If you want to know more, if you're watching this clip anywhere else, make sure you head over to the BitLab Academy stream, daily stream here on YouTube. Follow us on @AcademyBitLab on Twitter and make sure you get involved in our community. We give away thousands of dollars every year here in the BitLab community, and we give away all these tools and resources for free on the BitLab YouTube. And then we have the organized content, of course, with a lot more to the point courses in bitlabacademy.com. So now we got to talk about these gains. We got to talk about these possibilities. Let's head over to a free tool, coinmarketcap.com. I'm going to go a little bit more basic today, but I'm going to be identifying different types of projects, and you're going to see they're not all layer ones. They're not all AI. They're not all gaming. They're not. It's a wide array of things across the entire crypto market. And that's what we want to do when we're looking at this market. So let's go ahead, come back over here. Let's go to cryptocurrencies. Now, first things first, very quick basic lesson, and we're going to dive in and show you these picks. These are organized not by popularity, you could say that, but these are organized when you pull it up. The default mode is by how large the market cap is. What is market cap? Market cap is how much money is in that ecosystem. Now, people buy into these coins, these projects, right? And it's the amount, the total supply of the circulating supply of that asset multiplied by the price. So as demand goes up and people are, the asset price is going up, it also drives up what the market cap is. So this is showing you basically the ranking of each of these projects by size of market cap. And some would argue that the higher you are in this CoinMarketCap ranking, how high your market cap is. You see how these get consecutively smaller? And at the top, look, Bitcoin is at almost $900 billion, almost $1 trillion. Next one up, Ethereum, it's so big, it's the big dog. It's not even at 300 billion. And the next one up, not even at 100 billion. The next one up, only 45. So, and look how very quickly you get down and below 10 billion. So there's higher risk the smaller you go, because it also shows that the community not only is newer, but it's not as emboldened by capital flow and interest. This is essentially seeing the vote by dollar, the vote by actual purchasing into that ecosystem, whether they're doing it to build a project, for an investment, for a trade, whatever it is. It's a great metric, capitalist metric on the interest in this asset. So just know that before now we go through and look at some of these picks. Now, what I want you to do is look at this CoinMarketCap ranking, and just, you're going to see a couple different things. You'll see on my page, I have these stars here. These stars essentially give me ability to look at my watch list, so I can really identify, I can filter things down. I can say, you know what? Actually forget how to look specifically only at the watch. There it is. Boom. Watch list. So now I can cut out all the noise. Maybe I don't want to see stable coins. Maybe I only want to see stable coins, etc. And you can basically build a watch list, and it keeps it organized exactly how you want. So let's go through some of these. Now, number one altcoin pick, and this is going to be obvious, but we're going to go down that list. Ethereum. I think if you are dancing in the altcoin market space, maybe you have no Bitcoin at all, which I would never recommend, but you got to have some Ethereum. Remember, none of this is financial advice. This is strategy advice on how to organize a portfolio to balance risk with reward, and balance risk with how you are allocating your capital, the exposure you're taking on to what the potential reward could be. Because if you're going all high reward expectation, these 100x gems, and you have no balance on this more asymmetrical, more weighted in I don't want to say safety, but stability in terms of the ecosystem itself. Ethereum, the majority of the crypto market is built on top of Ethereum. So now, will you get a 100x gain on this? Maybe over 100 years, but this is not going to be your 100x coin. Ethereum is that ultimate layer one solution, layer one platform that so many other altcoins on this ecosystem, even many of the coins that we're going to look at here in a moment, are built on top of this ecosystem. This is an incredibly strong ecosystem. So let's make sure we take advantage of this. Now, before we dive into looking at some of these picks, I just want to say we got to pay attention to some of the data on here, not just the name, not just the price. We want to pay attention to the market cap. This is what we were talking about before. How much money is in that ecosystem? We want to look at the volume. So many people ignore this metric right here, the volume. This is showing the 24-hour volume, how much was transacted over the last 24 hours. As I showed on the Discover Crypto stream earlier, when we were talking about Chainlink, and we'll actually go over this one in a little bit again, but when we're looking at this value right here, the price action on Chainlink, could we have predicted that move, this move right here? Could we have predicted this outside of just traditional TA? So many people get so locked in on the price action of an asset, they forget there's plenty of other incredible leading signals that can give you confidence in something brewing. Now, on these fundamental and on these on-chain and all these other data points, it may not tell you it's going to break out tomorrow, but it's telling you the pressure's building in a direction that is going to ultimately see price action more likely than not go up. And in this case, when we're looking at Chainlink and we look at DeFi Llama, free website, wonderful website. You should absolutely check it out. We talk about this in BitLab Academy as well. If we turn off all these let's see, volume, FDV, turn on FDV. Okay, here we go. FDV, fully diluted value. What would be the value, of basically the project if every token in circulation was already out, etc. And I apologize. I've had a cold for about a week and I keep sneezing. My nose won't stop running. But looking at this, we're trying to capture this. Was there any data that suggested it? Well, looking at token volume, we're seeing this kind of fall off, but we're getting little spikes here. But look at this. This interest comes up here, of course, because this is also when price action was pushing up. So that didn't really give us that much of a signal. Fees. Woo, look at how much these fees went up here. Why would fees go up? There's a lot more usage on network. There's a lot more integrations. There's a lot more application of the utility that this thing is trying to provide. So this front ran like a mother. See this price action drop? Now these fees are yellow bars spiking up before this huge run up. Now let's look at revenue. Similarly on revenue, look at this starting to, if we turn off fees, there we go. Look at this. Ooh, look at that spike up before. See this drop right here, and then the spike up before all this really went to the upside. So with that being said, I want you all to explore the different tools that are out there. Token.unlocks.app, DeFi Llama, Dune. There's so many different things out. Look into Bitcoin.com, Looknode, Glassnode, CoinGlass. There's so many different tools out there that we can utilize rather than just being myopically focused on what's the price doing right now. Now, the price doing right now question is when you're trying to pull the trigger. But if you're not looking at any of these other fundamentals before some of these things explode, you're doing yourself a huge disservice in order to get in front of a lot of these huge gains. Now, this is more of the fundamental side of it, but let's go back and let's talk about some of these altcoins. Okay, Ethereum, of course, but we talked about market cap, 24-hour volume, and what we can do if you go to volume and man, let's see. They used to have a deal where is it at? You used to be able to click on this and you could see it over time. Where the hell is it at? There we go. No, they moved the damn thing. I want to see the volume over time, which they used to have a thing on there. But either way, what we're seeing is we want to see, in this case, look, the volume's down 22%. I wanted to see it over time. But essentially, when you have this is important to know, because with the reason I'm framing this is because when we're about to look at these other altcoins, we're going to go further and further and further down the list of coins on the Coinmarketcap, so smaller and smaller projects. So what that means is we also need to be aware of what's going on with the volume on a 24-hour basis, because if something is minuscule, like let's say there's $2 million in trading volume, right? This is, this is massive. Okay, this is $7.8 billion in trading volume on Ethereum. When we get much smaller, you have to be aware of that, because if you're going to interact with trying to buy, trade, etc., and there's a very small volume traded over 24-hour period, you have to be very specific about how you are getting engaged with that coin. Meaning, are you going to do a $1,000 purchase? Are you going to do a $5,000 purchase? Are you going to do a $10,000 purchase? And if you are, a reminder, the smaller that 24-hour volume is, the more you need to ladder your entries, pick specific spots. And then in addition to that, make sure you're using limit orders, because I remember about 4 years ago, it was an accident. I fat fingered like a $7,000 buy on a very small altcoin. And the volume, I think the 24-hour trading volume was like $800,000. It was a very small token. new, small market cap, small everything. And I did not ladder, and I also did not do a limit order axe. I thought it was on limit. It market bought, and it moved the price 35%. Now, you feel like, well, that's good. You bought it and went up 35%. No, that means that I had a 35% slippage from when I bought. It basically cleared the order book all the way up until that order was filled. And so my average price was actually very high. And because there wasn't a lot of underlying buying that was happening at that time, the price fell right back down. So I actually ended up being immediately net, the price ended up being net under what my average entry was. So you got to be careful. And I just want to frame that before I go through some of these coins. You're going to know a lot of these coins. I'm going to go through some higher market cap coins, some medium market cap coins, and some much smaller ones. I'm not going to do any meme coins, so don't ask. But we're going to talk about stacking here. So now that you know the sort of basics that I'm looking at, just on a very basic free tool here, Coinmarketcap, similar when you're looking at CoinGecko. Let's go ahead and go through some of these. So next one up, Solana. Solana, I mean, absolutely. When we're thinking about what happened to Solana over the last year and a half, 2 years, this massive sort of somewhat overinflated, but then this huge sell-off, especially also being tied so heavily with FTX, and then this long base. Look at this long base being built up. So doing basic TA, I'm going to address this as if nobody knows TA here, okay? Because you can also use this to how you discuss with your friends, families. Also, on a more basic level, maybe you don't have TradingView on your phone or on your computer, and you just want to get a general overview when you're looking at assets. Well, in this case right here, let's look at the price. Let's look left on the chart. Now, what are we watching for? We're watching for this next peak right up in here. This is $132. So this gives us an area, somewhat of a gateway, somewhat of a doorway going into this next bull run. Once we clear this level, this 132 marker, this previous range high, then essentially we can look up to this zone up here in the 160 to 180 range, and then on our way up. But Solana has got an incredible amount of institutional interest right now. They just released their phone. There's a lot of hype around what's going on with that, and also how many different projects are building on top of Solana. Solana, I had the wrong lens on for many months. I followed the wrong narrative with some of their their downtime and what was going on with their ties to FTX and et cetera. But they have been building. They have been nonstop building. And also because they had some VC tie to some of the people in FTX, when projects start, they got to get their money from somewhere, right? And so I'm not going to hold them account. I'm not going to hold their feet to the fire because of, just like so many other projects in the space that had ties to funding from FTX and Alameda. But I do think this has a huge chance. And we talked to James Seifert, remember, here on BitLab Academy about 3 weeks ago, right before or right after, I think it was right after the ETF approval. And he said, I believe, and I might be misquoting here, I'm going to paraphrase, that Bitcoin, of course, we got the approval. Ethereum will most likely be next. And the next one he saw as most likely was Solana, if we were going to get some other ETF. This signals the idea that institutions have some vested interest and some focus on this project. And that's something that will mean for huge capital flow. Some people think, I know Cryptos R Us, George, thinks that Solana could flip the market cap of Ethereum. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't think it'll happen this cycle. If it were to happen, I think that would be a long, slow tortoise in the hare sort of move there. But I do think Solana is something that we need to look at, have some sort of allocation in our portfolio. Now, market cap of this, 43 billion, 24-hour trading volume is also down a bit, but 2.7 billion. And the circulating supply. Circulating supply is at 435 million. Total supply, 568 million. Now, there are some things on Solana that do concern me. Currently have linear unlocks per day, total linear unlocks today of all token on the website, over 7 million. So there is a bit of inflation going on with Solana, but at the same time, one of the things that can soften that knowledge, come back over to Solana, soften that, God dang it, where are we at? Right over here. Yeah. Is the fact that the total supply, we're fairly far along the way on this right now. So now on the max supply, though, this is what we need to watch out for. It's infinite. So we're going to have to pay attention to what's going to go on over time. Now, I don't think, especially when we have mass adoption coming in and so many new eyes coming into the space, the higher prices push, especially on Bitcoin, and more institutions that get Bitcoin in their treasuries. Yes, this all ties to our altcoins. It becomes huge amount of press for crypto and the gains that could be made in the space. And most people coming into the space have no idea how these markets work. And they see Bitcoin, let's say it's at 70,000. They go, damn, I can't afford a Bitcoin, because they don't understand this. You can buy any fractional size of Bitcoin. They go, oh, I'm going to buy, everybody's been talking about Solana. Oh, that's only $100. What if I buy this and it goes up to 70,000? They don't understand the circulating supply. So there's a little bit, this is what's called pumpamentals. You have to understand how things work, but also understand that most people don't know how things work. Does that make sense? Throw a one in chat if that makes sense to all you right now. We got 207 people in the room. So if every single one of you right now on this wonderful February 2nd, Friday, we're here, we're talking about what we can stack for massive gains into this bull market that's about to explode. Hit that like button, show some love, subscribe to the channel, join us here. Now, going on from here, Solana, I absolutely think is something, one of those layer one alternatives to Ethereum. I think you should have both in your portfolio, but that's going to be up to your diligence and your preferences, your time availability to manage these different, being aware of what's going on, but also making sure that you do some diligence on these and make a decision for what's right for your portfolio, for your risk tolerance, and understand what time horizon you're looking at. Now, looking at the next one, we all know what it's going to be. Cardano. Cardano is one of those other contentious ones. I feel like it's fell off a little bit. I think it's fell off a little bit with the broad community. Everybody feels like it hasn't done anything, but it's such a silly thing for me for people to think that, because similarly, when we saw this period right here, everybody thought it was dead. It's dead, it's dead, it's dead. But look at this huge base, and then boom, the explosion happened after everything else was running. So this is why you need to understand what you're looking for in an asset, what time frame you're expecting it to move, and then don't have a longer term investment in something like Cardano, and then you see something else moving, so you're jumping back and forth between moving horses, okay? You want to pick your allocations in your longer term portfolio and your midterm as well, and let them develop over time at their own pace, because these different assets, it's going to be like a horse race. One's going to be running. You're going to be like, God damn it, I don't have enough in that. And then you're like, this is already pushing up. So then you sell out of this asset that you feel like it's just not moving. And then you jump on the bandwagon of that green candle, only to have that start pulling back. And then that asset you just moved out of starts moving up. The capital rotates in this market. And there's different niche narrative trends beyond just a price action on your specific asset. There's different trends that develop that see different parts of the market running like this. This is why it's good to have diversification between different niches within this market. So coming back over to this, Cardano, I think absolutely they've been growing in TVL. They've been growing in the different number of apps that are being developed on it, the different types of integration infrastructures that they're doing in Africa. I do think that Cardano is going to perform well. And what we do, let's go ahead and zoom in on this a little bit. Let's look. And we're going to do, of course, you all know when we're on this channel almost every day, we're doing some very intense technical analysis on all these things. But I want to do it a little bit more basic today. Show you how easy this can be when you're just getting a general overview, especially for a longer term play. Where we're at right now, look, we had this huge base. We started pushing up. This is that level we're really watching right here, that $1.22, $1.30 sort of zone. We could take that out. Then we have, this hurdle up right in this region here, the $2 mark, which is not only a round number, but we also have this bounce here that also has a rejection right in the same range. But let's go ahead and look at the data. $18 billion market cap, 400, this is, getting much smaller now, 439 million 24-hour volume. Okay, and this is, you're going to see as we go down this list, this is going to get exponentially smaller and smaller and smaller. And we just need to be paying attention to these things when we're looking at the diligence on these different assets. Circulating supply, look at this, 35 billion. We're at 78% of the way there, which means there's still going to be some inflation, but this is past that metric where you're getting huge dumps of new inflation in the market, which dilutes the value and the potential of what the individual price can go. Remember, we can have exponential gains in market caps on some of these assets while the price starts responding less actively because you have huge amounts of inflation that although the asset has more and more money in it exponentially, you're getting less movement on the individual price action. That's dilution. That's what we're seeing in the US dollar. And so when we're looking at these projects, remember, most of these projects are quite new. What we're looking for is, especially, in this case, we're seeing the circulating supply is getting to a pretty full level. I like seeing stuff that's over 70%, somewhere between 70 and 100%. And if it's not, say it's a much newer project, well, then I'm counting, one, on the fact that it's going to be more risky, and I'm planning for that, and that there's more likelihood because there's, say, the circulating supply is much lower percentage, say 15%. Maybe it came out a couple, weeks ago or, months ago. Then I'm looking for what the tokenomics are on this. And when we go over this in great detail in BitLab Academy, but I want to keep moving on. Cardano, I think it absolutely is one of those ones that I do think this is going to perform very well. And again, with Ethereum, Solana, and Cardano, I think these are some of those more anchors, stable, stability of project. And I don't mean a price, stability of the team. They're going to be here in 5 years. I think all three of these will be here in 5 years. A lot of the coins that we're going to be looking at may not. So these are balancing out that sort of risk-adjusted side of your portfolio. And we're going to get further down the list. Avalanche, I think, has an opportunity this cycle to really bring on some incredible partnerships. I think the architecture and the technical elements of how this chain was designed with the three different subchains, basically segmenting the different types of transactions that happen on chain, from smart contract execution to trading to, there's all these different things. So they have their own highway, so you don't get congestion on network. And you can infinitely scale it just by opening new nodes. So I think with what we've seen from Avalanche, I do think Avalanche is kind of one of the more, what's the word I'm looking for? Ones that are those anchors in your portfolio: Ethereum, Cardano, Solana. I think Avalanche, out of those, probably really has a huge opportunity to see some really explosive gains. Because if we look at this, we go into all area. Let me know, everybody out there, if you got Avalanche, let me know if you got Avalanche. What price point did you get in at? Let's see. Right here, we can see, look at this all-time high all the way over here, all the way in the 130s, 150s. Yeah, let's see. 134. Man. This is at 50%. So we do have a lot of, there's going to be a lot of things unlocked over time. But it's, we're getting to that kind of more round number like we saw in Ethereum in terms of the circulating supply is currently at 367 million. Ethereum, people keep forgetting it is deflationary, but this is not in that billion mark, which is also why you have a higher price point. All these things connect with each other. Max supply, 720 million. So you do start getting up there pretty high. We're getting to that point where those explosive gains are going to get minimized as more of these tokens get, you have these emissions and you have these token unlocks and etc. But we're coming into a time right now where the altcoin markets start to see some of their most explosive gains. And I don't think we're going to get a little mini alt season right now, but I do think post-halving going into 2024 and 2025, I think we're going to have a couple huge runs with pretty significant dips. Now we're getting into that last chance opportunity to really take advantage of these prices. Oh, you didn't get in at $5 or $11. This, down here at $9. You didn't miss it. Some people felt right here like they missed it, so they didn't get in, only to see price go from 46 all the way up to 146. Price action is developing. We've broken out of this trend. We're pushing up. We have a little bit of a pullback here. See, it got all the way up here into the $48, and we came down here to under 27. And remember, I just want to point this out. A week or two before this happened on this BitLab Academy daily stream, I was breaking it down. I was saying, hey guys, right up here, I was saying, I'm looking for a price action coming back into this 30 zone. And if we lose that, likely down into the 27 range. If you were here on that stream, let me know in the chat. Did you take advantage of that opportunity? Because look at that. What we do, we dropped down in that 30 range, had that fall, rise, continuation. So fall, rise, and then the break back down all the way to where this price action was over here into that $27 mark. So what I like to do is not beat myself up because I missed this move. I go, okay, I'm actually not missing anything. I'm letting the price action basically sow some exuberance in the chart. Sow it, make everybody feel like, oh man, yeah, okay, the bull market's coming back. And then everybody, you know, those hype cycle buyers are getting trapped up here. And what I like to do is let this move happen, watch for the retrace, identify the targets before that retrace happens, once we start seeing a local peak, and then stack in. And if it drops back down, then I stack in at those next levels down. $23 would be my next level down. But when we're looking at this on this level, go back over here, when we're looking at this, okay, I mean, this is, everything on this is, you know, we got a decent sized market cap, meaning it's not in the hundreds of billions. You know, most of these altcoins aren't. I think the only one that is Ethereum. But this is down here at 13 billion. 24-hour volume, over 500 million, $677 million. And we see these levels and the potential partnerships that are going to be coming out of this. They're already somewhat integrated with Amazon. I'd be interested if we ever got some sort of partnership there. But this is the next level I'm really looking at here. These lows right here, right? The 69, $65 to $69 range is the next level I'm looking at for a huge hurdle on the way up on the price. And then, you know, once we clear this level right here, $100, round number, also this peak from which we fell down from, I think this is going to be this previous all-time high is going to be no problem. Once we clear this means this market is, the alts they're seeing that capital flow, and we're going to have, remember, exponential more people are coming in, parabolic curve, not only on price, but in the adoption rate on this market as Bitcoin spot ETFs are now paid advertising Bitcoin, and also through that, institutions and people that have more money are going to be investing in those ETFs. But then the people around the world, especially as these different altcoin projects pop off, and different people and different family members and different cousins and different neighbors are having incredible gains because they took a risk before everybody thought it was the right thing to do. All of you you're all avant-garde. You're all trailblazers if you can get active and take advantage of some of these things we're talking about right now. Avalanche, I could see this somewhere in the $300 to $700 range in this next bull market. Now, we got a lot more coins to go through. Let's continue on. And I apologize. I keep having to wipe my nose. I probably sound like I'm sick too. Chainlink, we already talked about this one, so I don't want to cover this too great detail. 10 billion. This could easily be a $100 billion project. We got $1.6 billion in 24-hour volume. I mean, those are those levels that we're watching. $28, $35, and then all the way up here at basically in the mid 50s. But Chainlink is the infrastructure play of this market. Martin 48 says, nobody talks about LRC. Is that loop ring? Well, there's so many projects out here. Can't talk about every single one of them. But yeah, Chainlink, I've already talked about this a lot. Great project. Connecting, it's going to be straddling the world of blockchain and crypto, but then also bringing data and connecting data from other real world assets into through a blockchain that's verifiable. That's why it's called an Oracle layer, but it's also, they've already showed integrations with Swift and the big bank. I mean, this I think is going to be a shocker. This is another one of those coins I think everybody should have in their portfolio. Now we're getting down to a little bit lower. This is going to be, I think, about the last one that we talk about. Yeah, this is the last one that we're talking about that's in that more safe layer that I think has not only got huge amounts of impact within the crypto space in terms of the weight they are to carry. It's still have explosive gains, but very risk adjusted, in my opinion. And this is Polygon. What price point did you get in? If you have Polygon, back when it used to be called MATIC, what price point did you get in on? Are you stacking into this one going into this next bull run? Because if we come out here on the all, look at this. I mean, this went from 4 cents all the way up to, it's like 287 or 270, yeah, in the 270s, 260s. And look at this sell-off. This has essentially been range-bound, sideways, building this strong base. And so when we zoom in on this, these are the levels we're watching. First step, dollar, of course. Next step is this next peak up here, $1.50. Once we clear $1.50 on this, I do think things not only are going to be well on their way, but you've kind of missed the best opportunity. Yes, this went from 48 cents up to $1 and back down. But look at this. This is telling you things are, the horse is kicking the stall. And you felt like you missed it, and now it came back, and you don't have a plan to figure out how to get it in your portfolio, average in your entry. Take advantage of the market. Otherwise, life is just going to take advantage of you. So we have $7.7 billion market cap. This is grossly under what I think it should be for how many integrations MATIC has, how integrated their entire network is and stuff that's built with on MATIC, and the number of partnerships. You guys know how many partnerships MATIC has? Let me just show you this real quick. MATIC, Polygon, MATIC, partnerships. This is ridiculous. This is just the top 10. Let's see. I haven't even looked at this page. I just know it is just ridiculous. But if it's going to work, man. So okay, there we go. So we got Nike, Starbucks, MasterCard, Adobe, Disney, Meta, Adidas, Mercedes. You kidding me? Reddit, Google. And you're telling me, oh, MATIC's not sexy. It's not a brand new dog toy. Get that shit out of your head and look at things that have integrations that will also have the means to build on and also support what they're building on by promoting it to the other user bases. This is what I'm talking about. When I'm looking at a project that may be able to grow despite where it's at now, maybe there's other projects that are newer or sexier. This has an incredible network of partners, builders, and it's great technology. You don't have MATIC in your portfolio, I don't know what you're doing. Now, going on to this next one, Injective. Injective, I think, also is going to perform. I think this is going to be one of those sleeper coins that is really going to shock people. Now, we did get quite a big move here from $7 all the way up here into the mid 40s. Actually, above that, up in the, yeah. My nose doesn't stop running. But look at this. Got a big bull flag here. I don't need lines on a chart to tell me that's a bull flag. We have a flagpole here, a level of resistance. This is bumping again, a level of support. This is coming down to. So it's almost like, falling channel or, flagpole, flag. So we're watching what's happening here. But there's a lot of things that are being built, with Injective, with what they're doing. And I mean, this has a kind of silent community that when they do come out, when they buy strong. And, powerful core financial infrastructure. Think about how many different things are out there in the world because everybody gets so focused. We all get so focused on the cool next best thing and blockchain and crypto. But also we want to talk about integrating what's actually happening in the real world as well. But we see, if we want these things to truly explode, then we need things like this. Injective is a blockchain built for finance. It's an open, interoperable layer 1 blockchain powering next generation DeFi applications, including decentralized spot and derivatives exchanges, prediction markets, lending protocols, and more. This is something that I do think this is going to perform very well in this market. So long as nothing, terribly wrong happens, which we saw with Luna. This is why we look at multiple different coins so we can have a broad, exposed, diversified portfolio. $3 billion. I think this can do incredibly well. over time. And currently we went into price discovery here. We're having a little bit of a pullback. It doesn't mean we can't come back further. I mean, look at where this top is. This top, $22. This is what we're doing. When we see price falling, you want to see if it does fall further, even if you're bullish, if it does fall further, where could it potentially go to? And I want to look to this region right here where we see a little hiccup. What do I mean by hiccup? The price action. See this right here? This is the first area I'd be watching. If we lose $30, which is this little pullback right here, then I'm going to be looking to the next level down where there's price memory on the chart, and that's this level right here. Because you see, boom, that's a ledge. If we lose that, then we're coming down to likely down into that 20. If we get down to 22, then very strong buyer. But where we're at right now in the market cycle with so much positivity in terms of all the fundamental developments and the growth in terms of how much building is happening, how much awareness is happening across the entire crypto ecosystem and outside of the crypto ecosystem, and governments talking about stuff, and the ETFs just launched, and now institutions are advertising stuff for crypto. There are things that are very bullish right now. So although I look to lower price action to potentially be aware of opportunities if it gets there, things could just launch off tomorrow. So I am laddering, I'm scaling in, not on one big buy. I'm scaling in on any of these different assets I'm showing you on any price dips that are happening, always leaving some dry powder on the side. But this is what I'm doing. I'm looking at these coins. Now coming over to this next one. Gotta go off again because I gotta wipe my nose. God dang it. Near protocol, $2.91. Near, we had DD Taihutu, the Bitcoin family guy on here, who's been in since 2013. And he was talking, this must have been August. He was talking about Near. This is one of the biggest project he was scaling into. Another layer one project here. If we scroll down just a little bit right here, designed as a community-run cloud computing platform that eliminates some of the limitations that have been bogging competing chains. So one of the things we have to be aware of when we're looking at these different assets, these other projects, Ethereum built a roadmap, essentially, gave us a blueprint of when these ecosystems build out. You know, you had Ethereum, and then you start getting these layer twos like MATIC and Atom and Cosmos and et cetera, that are built on top of that network. And so what you saw was what we can utilize when we're looking at any of these projects is I'm not only showing you the assets themselves, I'm showing you ecosystems. So when you're looking at Near, you can also go look into the Near website, see what different chains are working with Near, see what different integrations they have, and that might give you an idea of what may be pumping next, because you can see the order of operations for what happened on Ethereum is essentially somewhat giving you a roadmap on all these other ecosystems as to if it worked very well over there, it's likely going to be integrated here as well. And as that develops, then you have basically a front run on great price action and a development in that ecosystem. So in this case, Near, look at this. I mean, just felt so bad. Now we're got all the way up here to $4. Now we're back down here at $2.90. So where are we looking for? Well, let's look at these peaks. We're looking for that $5.50 level. Once we clear that, it's that gateway we're looking to for those huge gains. But I don't want to wait until we get all the way up into that level. We can start scaling in and taking advantage of this. Only $3 billion, but we're getting a much smaller on the trading volume. You see this? As these market caps go down, we're also seeing smaller amounts of trading volume, which also means if you're trading, especially on leverage, then this also means that there's a higher likelihood that if you're trading on, which I don't recommend, if you're trading and you're trying to rip a 30x leverage long or short, but you see those wick spikes in those those smaller altcoins, the smaller you get, the more often it happens. It's because there's less liquidity in the order book. And so if somebody goes in there and fat fingers a large purchase order or sell order, then they're able to basically scoop up all that liquidity. And you see that very quick movement on price action. You're like, did they do that just to wash me out? Sometimes, yes, because they can see what's in the order book. They can see where liquidations are. And it takes less monetary energy to make those swings happen. It's harder to do that on Bitcoin because there's a lot more liquidity in the order books on that. So this, I mean, guys, I'm dropping knowledge bombs on you today. Coming back over here, Optimism. Optimism has, it's integrations with Coinbase. I think there's going to be some really nice things seen on Optimism. I don't mean to be bearish here. I'm not as bullish on this and some of the other ones, but I think because of the partnerships, the ties with Coinbase, I think this is one of those ones that you can look at a better risk adjusted diversification level on this. Now, this is a newer coin, came out very recently. So any move up above $4, we start going into price discovery again. But we start getting, when you have these coins that have these very low numbers as well, this plays into that pumpamental factor that we were talking about earlier. As new people come into the space, they don't understand tokenomics. They don't even know what the word tokenomics is. They don't know what circulating supply is, market cap, volume. They say, that coin looks like it's expensive, or man, if it's $3, I can buy a lot of it. If it's a penny, I'm gonna get Shiba Inu because I can get 20 trillion. Now I know Shiba, maybe it's not fair because they've been developing a lot of stuff, but this is a mentality the newer people have. So as we have the retail market start to enter in droves, then it is worth having coins, especially like Optimism, that does have these very much stronger partnerships and team integrations in terms with major players in the space. It does have a lower number here, but this is like one of those basic things. I don't trade on this, but I keep this in mind with how I'm positioning allocations in my portfolio. And I currently don't have any Optimism. And so if this just does hover around this area or pull back a little bit, I'll likely be scaling into this one. And by the way, let me just say this right now. I have 0 sponsorships from any coin, any tradable asset. Okay. None of this is in any way, shape, or form skewing anything that's going on. In fact, I have money that's on the side right now that I'm going to be scaling into this market, not even today, but it's going to be over the next about 2 weeks. So I'm not pumping any bag. I'm telling you, I'm just going through the assets that I'm looking at, and that's why it was on my mind today. I'm looking at the things that I want to scale into. So all of you can front run me. I'm not even putting enough capital to move the markets. I'm just sharing with you the type of things I'm looking at and how my considerations are before I start building this new essentially altcoin portfolio. It's going to be about $14,000 to $16,000, and I'm going to share it with all the members in the BitLab Academy and the Discord. I'll talk about it a little bit on the live stream here, but taking that, roughly $15,000 portfolio to, we're looking at $300,000. That's my target in 2 years with the $15,000 portfolio. And I'm looking at these assets. These are the ones I'm looking at stacking into it. Now we go on to the next one. All right, Celestia. This one has been one of those narrative tokens. Narrative token. What does that mean? Social media. Everybody out there chatting, especially when this popped off recently. I mean, it was down here, woo-wee, $2. And okay, $2 to $20. That's a 10X. Shout out Sawtooth Hiker, 5 gifted memberships. Big love to you. We got Studio Deadlock, Studio Durdonk, new member Brett Lopez, Gennaro Mena, Crypto Pew Pew Cruz, and Jorge Satoshi. Thank you for the gifted memberships there. I appreciate you. If I missed any of the other super chats or membership gifts or anything there, I apologize, because I've been dropping some knowledge bombs on y'all today. The question is right now, when you look below this video, does it say that you have hit that subscribe button? Are you subscribed? Join us here. We got the best family in the whole space, because everybody here is so positive. This is what we're doing. We're growing together. This is not about me pumping stuff to you, shilling stuff to you. No, this is about, hey, how do we ride this mother market to the top? Oh, shout out. We got Falco gifting 5 memberships. Big love. Let me look right now. We're going to jump right back in. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 10 more coins to share with you. So stick with me, because I'm not sure. I think I can add an emoji because of the number of gifted memberships we got there. So shout out there. Everybody, again, hit that like button, show some love. It's the end of a good week. The markets, come on, we just had the ETFs. Can you believe it? We just had the ETFs approved and they're trading. We're seeing net positive stuff. Actually, let me come over to this real quick. Boom. Look at this chart from my boy, the Rational Root. This is basically the metric. ETF grow rate. Look at that. Yeah, we had a little bit of negativity here in terms of the GBTC outflows were outweighing the inflows that we saw in ETFs, but this is flipped. Look at this. This is positive. This is what we want to see. Now, coming back over to, I want to see if I can do an emoji for you guys. It just depends on, I believe we hit the threshold because YouTube limits. YouTube limits. You have to hit certain things. Really? I cannot believe that. It still says 13 more. Man, it's because different people drop off. And so and other people come on, so it kind of changes. It changes the metric on you every day. The other day oh, that's not it. Yeah, dang. So maybe by the end of the stream. But shout out to everybody that has been pumping those memberships now, and big love to each and every one of you. Get those beaker badges next to your name that fill up over time. Let's go ahead and hop back in here. We got a couple more coins we got to talk about because I want to drop some knowledge sauce on you guys. Again, I apologize for having a cold. Hedera, HBAR. This is one of those, people love it, or they're just like, it's completely obscure to them. They're like, but this is one of those projects that their technology is slightly different in terms of how their blockchain works, but they have some very strong partnerships with other blockchains out there, and they have a very solid team. And look at this. When you cut the noise out, what do you see? We have not gotten any substantial pump yet. The ability for you to capture the move before it happens is astronomical on this, because look, this went all the way up into this zone here. 50 cents. It's down here at 7 cents right now. We had the low down here at 4. You know, in the 4s and 5s, we're at 7 cents right now. So if we zoom in on this just a little bit, look at this. Went up to 9 cents. Now we've dropped significantly down here to 7 cents. And look at this, where this is at. This previous range high right in this zone. It's bouncing on this. So the next level down, if it does drop further, is down here at the 6.6 sort of level, which is substantiated by this high as well right in here. So this would be a great buying opportunity if we do drop any, I mean, this current level is already looking good because we're also seeing this rounding. So you can do basic TA on Coinmarketcap without having TradingView open. But in this range, anywhere here, I'd be looking to scale into this, because when we zoom out on this, the next major hurdle up is right in here, 15 cents, this low. Okay. And then the next level up would be right in this range up here in the 20 to 24 cent range. And then it's like, the momentum, once you've come up here and done the work to clear these lows and these highs, the momentum that will happen, that will occur once you clear these previous macro lows, macro range highs right in here before this breakdown, this would also substantiate that once it breaks through that roadblock, the inertial energy of monetary movement will start being incredibly bullish, and we'll be making it up. That's when you get that parabola start forming. And then we'll be looking at these relative levels. But $2.3 billion market cap, $50 million in trading volume. Look at this, about 70, just under 70% of the circulating supply is out. Max supply, 50 million. Total supply, 50 billion. Total supply, 50 billion. We're at 33 billion right now. And remember, they've been developing on this. Partnerships, all kind of stuff. HBAR, look into it. Caspa, this is the same thing with TIA. Did we not look at TIA a second ago? Yeah, TIA, I don't think we really covered it. When we're looking at TIA, I mean, 2.8 billion. This has been one of those narrative plays that we were talking about. Narrative plays, meaning as it launched out and everybody saw, I mean, this growth from, I mean, that's a 10x growth from where it was to where it is with a little bit of a pullback. Price discovery. It's going to have new hype behind it. It's going to have a lot of that early promotional energy also from the team. This is one of those ones that starting to get a little bit more risky. You know, it's substantially more risky than Ethereum and MATIC and stuff. But in terms of the risk, the explosive possibilities, I'm putting TIA. This is one of those ones I am putting in my portfolio for sure. Now, am I putting 40% of my portfolio in it? No, because I'm not a dummy. I'm not putting myself in a position to wreck myself. Could I get huge gains if I have 40%? Probably. But the thing that you cannot substantiate is when a black swan is going to happen, when there's going to be a technical issue with the project, especially when it's a newer project. There's so many things that could go wrong that I'm getting a broad exposure to a lot of very risky assets and very safe in a respective sort of way, you know, safe within the crypto ecosystem. But I'm looking at this push up, breakdown, got a W formation, push up again, breakdown. We still have a higher low. And in this zone here, if we pull back to any of these levels, this 14.2 to $15 level, definitely a buyer. And if it drops below that, it doesn't bother me because I know where we're at in the market cycle and what's about to come. But I'm definitely stacking into this. Getting back over to that, we talked about HBAR. I'd be stacking into absolutely, absolutely. Caspa, this is what I was saying was, this is on that same sort of narrative play as TIA. And obviously different. My point being is in the last six or 8 months, TIA and Caspa were like, these things were running, far outrunning so many other things in the market. Also because it has that new narrative. Look at this, all the way back here. I mean, 0.00079. Very cheap, all the way up to, 15 cents. Currently we're at 10, so it's a 30% dip. It's sitting right here on the shelf of this zone right here. We got $2.2 billion, $18 million in trading, 24-hour trading volume, over 70. We're up near 80% circulating supply. This is great. This is one of those ones I'll be stacking into. How many of you guys jumped on the Caspa trade? I know some of the people in the audience wrote a little bit of the TIA, wrote a little bit of the Caspa. Let us know if you wrote it. Are you still in it? Have you been trading it? What are you doing there? Man, I don't want to say anything about the vaccines. But I used to never get sick. I'm talking like once every 7 years. Now I feel like I'm sick every 3 freaking months. So Render, absolutely amazing. Especially with where the world's going. Graphical interfaces, blockchain graphics, Apple Vision, shared compute power for these 3-dimensional spaces. I mean, there's so much to be talked about here with Render. And although it did see an epic run back here in 2021, look at this large base, and it's just been working its way up. Because you missed this, you're just not going to take advantage of the rest of the move. I think this has an opportunity to really shock people in this next market, especially with ties to some of the stuff. We saw how big Apple's jump was just recently with the announcement of their earnings. And the world's only getting more technological. And when you have these different projects like this working on different things that are being integrated into those new narrative tech topics, that only furthers my reason for wanting to be involved with this. Now, 1.7 billion, let's see, 117 million, ooh-wee, trading volume. And look, 70% circulating supply out. So it's meeting those metrics I want. And when we're talking about where this could go, I mean, there's no telling where this one could go because of the growth of the tech sector and how they're integrating different things. But we cleared this level, 320. We came up into here. So now we're right here in this level, this sort of hiccup right here. We want to see what happens once we clear 580. And then the previous all-time high up here at $8. And then it's going to be, market discovery, price discovery. I don't want to buy after we hit previous all-time high. That's when longer-term players start scaling out their investment. The investment can still go parabolic, but it's harder to read the signals in the market because you have people that are engaged with the market that don't understand anything but how the market's making them feel. I'm scared. I'm happy. I'm greedy. I don't want to trade in that environment. I want to buy down here or down here. let this break previous all-time high and start looking at how I can basically scale out over time versus waiting till the market collapses. I'm like, oh man, I was up $4 million and now only have it's even below my initial investment. No, we're not doing that. We're being smart. We're having positive strategy that can effectively make us money over time in this market. We got to go quickly over the next one. Maker. This is one of those ones. It works within finance. I don't know what happened to my camera though. It works within finance, the DeFi space, but also I think there's going to be a lot of real world tokenization. Real world asset tokenization. Avalanche is one of those other ones. I forgot to mention that I think it's going to see a lot of RWA sort of integration there. And that's projected to be a $15 to $30 trillion business just for RWAs by 2030. So think about what that means for the underlying blockchains that is basically tokenizing those things. Now Maker, this got all the way up in here. Look at this, all the way into the over 5,000. We're down here at 1,900. And this is going to be one of those things I think institutions and bigger players are going to be getting involved with as well. So remember, don't look at the number. Look at the chart in relationship to the market cap, to the circulating supply, the unlock sort of schedule there. This is at 91%, and what the total supply is. The reason this is so much higher is not because it's so much cooler. It's because look how much smaller this max supply, 1 million. We were just looking at other assets that had a max supply of 50 billion. Does this not compute why this number is so much higher? There's much fewer tokens. So the amount of capital, market cap, that is divided by the total number of tokens, this is why we ignore the price. We look at the price relative to how it graphs on a chart so we can identify levels to buy, sell, etc. So look at this. Yes, it feels like we missed a move, but we're at this curvature moment right here, which is starting to substantiate this idea of a move higher. And where is this? Look at this. Come right across the chart. Look at all this choppiness here. So once we clear this level, 2,400, I do think we're going to be really making the move up. I want to be in before that. So next one right here, SEI, one of those new narratives also. I'm really excited about these new narrative tokens because they carry with it this newer exuberance, and because they're smaller projects, this is 1.5 billion. This also means if they're newer, that they're going to have a slew of new news announcements and partnerships and integrations that could come that will also help support positive price movement in the chart, especially in a bull run. So if things are starting to rip higher and we get a little bit of a pullback, but then all of a sudden we get like 3 major partnerships, that also pumps price higher. Now, there's a caveat with this. That sounds like a pump-a-mental and it sounds so exciting and makes us want to get into all these newer, but it also means we have to consider that this technology is not proven yet. You could have a failure. You could have a hack. You could have a rug on all these different projects. Nothing is guaranteed. We have to be smart and tactful with how we are engaging with any of these. Now, SEI, with that being said, I do think is going to perform very well in this next market, this market cycle as it pushes up. Scrolling down here. First, sector-specific layer 1 blockchain specialized for trading to give exchanges an unfair advantage. What? I feel like that's not. Yeah. So decentralized are the killer app of crypto. They're everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. So this is trying to prevent that. Not. Yeah. But look into this project. Their team. They got a solid team. In terms of everything that's going on here, look at this. Much smaller coin, but it has 230 million. This has more trading volume. There's interest there. I'm looking where there's interest. Now, this is much lower on the circulating supply. Look at it, only 16% of the supply is out. So you're going to want to pay attention to the unlock schedule. All you need to do is go to tokens.unlock.app, type in the asset, and it'll give you the information about what that schedule is. So you can make sure you're not jumping in as price is moving up just before a huge unlock is going to happen, which is also probably going to drive a little bit of negative speculation on price, let alone dilute it for future gains. So understand that. Now we're going to go very quickly over the last couple ones. The graph, the Google of blockchains. We're going to need this, something that indexes the data and the information and what's going on so we can really understand everything that's out there and pull data between these different ecosystems. I think this is going to perform incredibly well. Again, I have to go very quick through these last ones. These are the last ones I'm really looking at right here. Quant. This one's much higher on the list. I just brought it up here later because I forgot about it. I'm not as bullish on this as I was before because some of the lost hype from the ISO 222 sort of area, but this is a software as a service sort of blockchain that also it's different. It's similar but different to what's going on with XRP and what they're trying to do, but they're more on a building a software. It's more of a software type of business for businesses and governments. And some people speculate that it's likely they'd probably be tapped. One of the ones that would be tapped for CBDCs. And I think I think they already have been, I forget what country, but you know, the goal of connecting blockchains and networks on a global scale without reducing the efficiency. So this is also interoperability, but I don't feel like that. I could be wrong. I feel like the focus has not been on that with their development lately. And again, I could be completely wrong. I have to research so many different projects. I get my mind sort of wrapped around here. But look at this, all the way up here in the 220s, and we're down here at $100. We're 50%. We're only at 50% down right here. But I do think, look at this, total quant, max supply, around the 15 million, under 15 million quant. That's fewer than Bitcoin itself. We're at 81%, circulation, meaning there's about a little under 20% that's still going to be unlocked. And remember we were talking about prices being high or low based on how much total supply? This tells me that this is currently very, very low as to where it can go. The question is going to be how much of the crypto community is going to get involved with investments in this asset. Now, let's see, ORDI, we're seeing huge development, everything going on with Bitcoin, with these ordinals, also with inscriptions. Also, there's going to be, I think, a new level of interest now that we have the institutions getting involved because the ETFs. And I think different projects that are building on top of Bitcoin, stacks, ORDI, etc. Just keep your eyes on it. And I have to go. There's two more. Phantom, such a strong community that I think when this one rips, it's going to rip. I mean, look at how high this got. Yeah, zoom tight. Look how low we are right here. I mean, all the way up here into the 330s, we're basically a 10x down from this. So a move up to the previous all-time high. We're 10x from that right now, but we also have to realize we do have more supply than we did back here. So we also have to realize when we're looking at any of these assets, just because we had a previous all-time high and we start seeing a lot of movement into this space or capital flowing into this asset, we have to realize that there's more available tokens than there were then. So you could achieve a break of the previous all-time high market cap on a chart while also not having price action get to these previous levels. Now, do I think that's going to happen here? No. I'm just saying that just to warn you. It's not things that are so easy as just looking at a chart. We are very low. They've been building nonstop on this chain. They have a very strong community. I'm stacking into this one and for this next bull run. Singularity, AGIX, AI is going to have, I'm sure, going to have another boom narrative in this next cycle. And when we look at this where it's at right now, I mean, this is sell off here, but strong base. It's almost like a bit of a pump coin. But I do think as the AI narrative builds and we start seeing more news around that sort of stuff, as people are in this navigating, trying to figure out what coins to pick in this market, news stories that are even somewhat outside the ecosystem of the crypto space. When you have technological developments or implementations or partnerships that are on mass scale that have huge impact, it also affects the types of projects and coins that are in those specific niches or similar in some regard. And this is, Singularity Net is, they've got an incredible team behind them. And I think we're going to see some implementations and some announcements coming out with some of the stuff they're doing probably here in 2024 and 2025. So it's one of those coins I'm looking at now. Everybody, I love you guys so much. We went a little long today. We're talking about coins so we could look at this market, make sure we're not all in one sector, all in gaming or all in layer ones, or all in AI, or all in meme tokens. Let's get exposure to a few different coins in each sector based on what capital you have available. Let's identify your time horizon. Hopefully it's like mine. Right now, I was doing a bunch of trading. Right now, I'm focused on picking some medium to long-term plays to stack now and don't give a about price action between now and at least July 2025, because that's where these market cycle tops tend to happen post halving. So I'm feeling exhausted now. We've been going for a while. I love you. I got to eat some lunch. Make sure, if you haven't done your crypto taxes yet, make sure you check out decrypted.tax/hit. Get 25% off, and make sure you get your taxes in order. You get a return. Put some money back in the market. Use a tax professional. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And remember, bitlabacademy.com. Get enrolled. Join us in the academy where you can actually go through these courses. Get involved in the Discord with that membership. We have this, the membership of the BitLab Academy gives you access to this Discord, but we also have an incredible deal going on right now. Where is that the link? It's right somewhere. Right here. We have a special deal that we're using for Josh's community, but I'm going to share it with you guys because I love you. It's that link right there. It's lab.bitlabacademy.com/Josh. And we have a limited time discount. You can get into the BitLab Academy Discord, the premium Discord, for 30 days for free. And if you go through that, once you accept the 30 days for free, like on the website, immediately there's an upgrade offer. And I would recommend anybody that wants to take it, because it's the best deal we've ever had for basically all access to everything we have, from our indicators, the courses, the premium Discord, and we have some really badass data integrations that it's going to be included for the members. If you're a member by a certain date, you'll be able to have that access added without any extra fee, and you can get it at this discounted rate. So I'm just saying, get involved. I love you guys. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I'll be on Blockchain Basement in a little bit. And oh, by the way, everybody that's a BitLab member now in the members area on the Discord, make sure you look up here at the top. It says event, one event. Drew and I are going to be doing an event today, 3:15 p.m., right after Blockchain Basement. So come get involved. Hit that interested mark. Let us know that you're coming. Boom. We'll see you there. That's all I got. Over and out. Adios. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Hope I don't have to wipe my nose again. Got this damn cold. Adios, everybody.